They found him in his head, in his hair, his face, his nose, his mouth, his chest, his public areas, front and back, his arms, his legs.
I'm not here to say Ramon McGhee was an angel. However, I am here to highlight the deplorable conditions that this jail have prisoners and or inmates living in prior to them actually getting their due process. You have them being starved. You have them being infested with lice, infested with feces, and infested with bed bugs. You guys, I hope you go ahead, comment, like, and subscribe to the channel as we do a dive into what is going on behind this jail cell.
We want justice. The house needs to be cleaned from the top to the very bottom. When I saw him in the emergency room and lifted the covers, his body was in a total deplorable condition.
Deplorable conditions. Photos given to us by attorney Ben Crump's team show this. Feces on the walls of a cell in the form of handprints, crosses. The photo reportedly from inside a cell at 201 Poplar. It's also what the family of Ramon McGhee described and showed through photos almost a month ago in a news conference with Crump and his team. Some of those conditions are outlined in a preliminary autopsy report. Evidence of bed bugs and innumerable insects in McGhee's head, hair, face, and more. The report also lists evidence of poor grooming, like dirt in his finger and toenails. In the final summary, the report says the cause of death is severe neglect with malnutrition, dehydration, severe body insect infestation, and complications. The manner of death, homicide.
I was sending to him like 3 times a week, so I couldn't understand how he was starving if I was sending him meals.
McGhee's mother, Lice Choate, told Fox 13 her son was bipolar and also had schizophrenia. She also said the last time she spoke to her son, about 4 months before his death, he had no food and no medication. McGhee was in jail, charged with first-degree murder, especially aggravated robbery, and more felonies after a November 2022 shooting at a Bartlett gas station.
State officials have stated that it would take billions of dollars in order to correct the issue. They introduced going up on local state taxes to fund their project. They could get federal funding from the federal government. However, they do not want the federal government to be involved.
We have told the community that what happened in the case of Ramon McGhee was unacceptable and significant corrective measures have been put in place. The jail struggles daily with mentally ill residents, particularly those who refuse medication and treatment for medical issues. Some of them, unfortunately, use their bodily waste to stain their cell walls and floors. Their cells are cleaned daily and multiple times a day if needed. These cell conditions are not commonplace in the jail.
Once nicknamed the Glamour Slammer, now described as anything but.
A hellhole. I mean, this is what it is.
This man doesn't want to be identified, but he told us what he witnessed a few weeks ago inside 201 Poplar. He was booked for a warrant from 2020 for reportedly stealing an 18-pack of beer. He says it took 14 long hours to bond out.
They got them all crammed into one building, and they sleeping on the floors, and the place is just filthy.
Filthy, he says, with bugs, clogged toilets and showers, and more.
Dried blood and stuff all over the floor.
On top of that, he says he saw few correctional deputies.
And I'm like, man, they got all these people, and the guards ain't even just really watching the folks if something do go down. I feel like it is a dangerous place to be in because anything can pop off at any time. Somebody can get hurt.
His concerns reiterated in this stack of incident reports and court records WREG investigators found through open records request dating from the end of February through the end of April. Jail staff also noted seeing blood on the floor. Several reports mention inmates caught with makeshift weapons. In one incident, an inmate began striking another inmate repeatedly with his weapon, causing several puncture wounds. Days later, a stabbing in a cell. Soon after that, a mop used in a beating. In April, an inmate struck a deputy in her face and jaw while distributing meal trays. 2 weeks later, a nurse was attacked while handing out medicine.
The inmate, he was standing out and he made gestures like he was about to perform sexual acts on himself.
She told WREG the inmate wasn't restrained despite the violent crimes he's accused of.
I could have lost my life.
It's still unclear why the inmate was roaming free. What we do know, around the same time, jail officials confessed at a county commission meeting 100 locks were broken from old age or from inmates jamming doors.
It leads to fights, it leads to all kinds of things because these detainees can get out when they want to instead of when we allow them to.
The jail made headlines again on May 3rd when staff claimed inmates had jammed doors in one unit, causing disturbances and setting objects on fire. The sheriff's office says 4 inmates were injured that night. The question many ask, how did we get to this point? The answers in the stories WREG investigators have reported on for the past several years. In 2020, we told you about state inspections we uncovered dating back to 2017, citing serious staffing shortages, a deteriorating building, and constant repairs. We asked the chief jailer then how much longer until the situation became dire.
That remains to be known, to be honest.
See, 15 years ago, a study was conducted on the jail, stressing the need for a new facility, even mapping out options. Nothing was done. Shelby County Sheriff Floyd Bonner says he brought it up again in 2018 when he was elected, but again, it didn't get traction. Then COVID happened, putting the conversation on pause and making problems and staffing shortages even worse. Bonner told us last fall he was calling on commissioners to act. He stressed mounting repairs, staffing shortages, and the building's design doesn't support new jail corrections methods for direct supervision. He says if nothing's done,
eventually, we might wind up in federal court, where a federal judge is telling us we must build a facility.
We have reached out to the Department of Justice to start a pattern and practice investigation.
Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing families of 2 inmates who died in custody at 201, including a man found unresponsive in his bed in January.
The nurse told them that he was covered in lice and bed bugs.
His firm sent us the results of an independent autopsy, stating the cause of death was severe neglect with malnutrition, dehydration, severe body insect infestation, and complications. The sheriff called the incident completely unacceptable. The TBI is investigating.
It causes you to wonder what is going on.
Crump's firm also showed us these photos. They say were taken inside 201, showing a cell with a clogged toilet and brown markings on the wall they say were made using feces. A staffer at the firm didn't know when the photos were taken.
We do need a new jail. The jail is horrible.
While county commissioners acknowledged problems at 201,
we could face lawsuits and other things that hurt us even more.
A new facility wasn't in their new budget. They did, however, vote to keep vacant positions the sheriff says they're working to fill. And earlier this year, the commission approved a $250,000 feasibility study for a new jail.
Item number 11 passes.
And also signed off on using emergency funds to fix cell doors.
We're going to be spending a lot of money over the next few years.
Sheriff Bonner says while the building is 40 years old, the wear and tear is closer to 160 years. This man believes it.
And I seen this with my own eyes.
Nor will he forget it.
It's just sad the way they got all these people in here crammed up in this hellhole like then the place is just nasty.
Hello, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Karen Classified. I hope you guys comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. I also hope you leave your comments down in the section below. You guys, there's just so much to kind of peel back in regards to the situation. My opinion is we have to hold our city and state officials accountable throughout their entire tenure, not just during voting season. If you see that they're not doing something, flood them with emails, go up to city hall meetings, just different things that you could do to make sure your tax dollars are going to be used in the most appropriate manner. There's no way that this place should be kept in such deplorable conditions. And then they wonder why they have understaffing. Well, in my opinion, it appears to be an unsafe place to be. Unsafe as far as health-wise, unsafe as far as physical safety-wise. There's just a lot of different concerns to be had if you go work at this prison system. It's sad. It's definitely unfortunate. And the reason behind this is also you have people that are going to jail for something as little as a traffic fine. But if you mess around, you're going to find out that you will be there for hours before you could get a bond and or bail out. So you will be subjected to these deplorable conditions. And the reality is, you may not know that you have a ticket somewhere else. You may not know you have a fine. It's things sometimes that just slip past you, and you'll find yourself sitting in one of these nasty cells. I don't know. I would like to know your opinion in regards to this entire situation. Do you think that once you go to jail, hey, you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit? Or you think something more could be done? And do you think that city officials and state officials should be held to a higher standard? And when they're in office, we know they can't get everything done, but certain things shouldn't linger on for years and years and years and years without being a priority. Again, you guys, thank you for tuning in to Karen Classified. I hope you guys comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. And I hope you leave your comments down in the section below. Until the next video, you guys, I hope everyone stays safe and take care.